Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm pretty sure most of you would have asked questions to ChatGPT and would have got the vague answers or the answers which you are not expecting, or in the context that you're looking for the answers, you are not getting those answers. Now, what if I tell you that there is a simple trick to get crystal clear side-by-side comparison? For example, you want to compare two items based on certain features, then with ChatGPT or any other large language model that you're using, you will be able to easily compare rather than going ahead through numerous pages of comparison, going and searching online about the comparison of phones or certain items that you want to buy. You can ask ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot to go ahead and compare items based on certain features that you specify. And this is what comparative prompting is. Very powerful, very easy to do, and will give you absolutely fantastic results. So in this video, I'll break down with real life examples along with the simple framework, so you can go ahead and use comparative prompting to get better results out of ChatGPT. Now, what exactly is comparative prompting? When we say comparative prompting, it is a type of prompting wherein you do not ask straight away questions to the large language models, for example ChatGPT. You specify the items to compare. You specifically provide the items and mention to ChatGPT or large language models to compare those items based on certain criteria. For example, you want to compare electric cars with the petrol or diesel cars based on certain criteria. For example, the cost, the performance, what are the environmental impact. So that's the criteria that you specify. Based on these criterias, then the large language model will compare and provide you the proper output or result of the comparison. So this is what comparative prompting is, and in many use cases, in many scenarios, comparative prompting will be really required for you. It doesn't matter you are into the IT, into software testing, development, business analyst, or product management, project management, you will be using it very frequently. Now, why exactly it will matter? Because, say for example, some of the use cases where it will be really helpful. When, say for example, you are choosing between two job offers, you are applying in two companies, you can then go ahead and ask the large language model to compare the two companies based on the work culture, pay scale, and based on the available information or the data that the LLM has been trained upon, and mostly the recent available information or recent web information that is available, that these models are trained on the latest data. So you will get more or less most recent comparison around the companies so that you can proceed with the interviews and job offers accordingly. Then you have different comparison within the project. You, say for example, want to compare between two strategies that you are trying to implement for testing or for development. You are trying to compare, say, different learning method, online versus classroom. You want to compare two texts or two essays in your academics. So many use cases that you can go ahead and utilize this comparative prompting. Now, in the comparative prompting, what exactly happens? So I'll go ahead with the comparative prompting example. So you'll see that comparative prompting is all about comparing two or more than two items. So for example, the simple framework for comparative prompting is you state the items you want to compare. First thing, wherein, say for example, I want to compare diesel cars, and you'll see the word compare, right? So this is important. In the comparative prompting, you have to have the word compare. So large language model understands that you want to compare these items, diesel cars and petrol cars. So the items, I have mentioned the two items. Then the criteria, aspects that matter. On what aspects, on what criteria you want to compare? I want to compare on cost, performance, value for money, safety, and environmental impact. Okay. So these are the criteria. So even if you just give two, you will get comparison based on this. But the simple framework or the ideal framework, so you have the items, you have defined the criteria. Then you can also ask for the similarities and differences. In the second example, this is the second example. Compare iPhone 16 and 17. iPhone 17 has recently been launched and will be available very soon to people. So I think a lot of information will be there. So let's see how ChatGPT responds to the comparison of iPhone 16 and 17 based on the features, look, security, video quality. Now the next thing is, which is the third step. So I have provided the aspects, I have provided the items that I want to compare, and then the similarities and differences. Then I'm also asking list similarities and differences, okay, and summarize which one is good for online content creator. So that's where request a summary or recommendation. Now for the online content creator, what matters most? LLM will then go ahead and search for what are the criterias that online content creators look in a phone, and based on that it will give me a good summary of the phone that I go ahead with and buy. Okay, so let's use these prompts and I'll show you the comparative prompting in action. Okay, so let me paste the first prompt that I have created, compare diesel car and petrol car, and if I'll go ahead and send this, let's see what the result is, and you will see that it's searching the web. You will see now cost and value for money, because I have specified cost, performance, value for money, safety and environmental impact. So you'll see that based on the cost and value for money, fuel efficiency and running cost, break-even horizon, resale value, performance, all of these things are now available here. And then you have the summary table as well. If you don't want these detailed answer as we have seen here at the top, you can just ask a tabular summary. So I can update the prompt and I can say just provide me the comparison in the tabular format. Okay, so just in this prompt I'll say provide results in tabular format only. So nothing else will be provided. So only the table will be provided, and accordingly you'll see the cost and value, performance, safety, health, environment, impact, all of that will be available in a summary table. So this is how the comparative prompting works. Now if I go ahead and use the second prompt of comparing iPhone 16 and 17, okay, so I'll say compare iPhone 16 and 17 based on this and suggest which one is good for the online content creator. Let's see what the response is, and you'll see, you know, automatically it goes ahead and searches the web. So you'll see the comparison is here. There are the similarities between both phones, then the key differences that are there between 16 and 17. What exactly are the key differences? You will see that it is basically A19 based with a 12 GB RAM, 40% better sustained performance, and vapor chamber cooling. So this is these are some of the features and performance. These are the key differences that you can see. Straight away you can see the differences between iPhone 16 and 17. And if we go ahead in terms of looks and design, you will see that thinner bezels are there in the iPhone 17. And if we go ahead for the video quality and content creation, you will see that iPhone 17 has keep creators in frame automatically, a huge win for live streaming, vlogging, tutorials. Okay, so this phone has a key focus for the online content creators. And then in the summary you will see which suits online content creators best. If you're leaning into content creation, vlogging, live stream, product demo, dual perspective recording, especially pro is confident upgrade. Now I can go ahead and read all the specs or go ahead and ask the ChatGPT more details about iPhone 17 and do more comparison, detailed comparison. I can update this prompt with more factors or more features that I'm looking for, or the criteria, to get more details in terms of comparison. So this is basically how you are going to do comparative prompting, and that's where or these are the scenarios wherein practically it is really helpful. This is very generic example that I have taken, but in the project space, wherever you are working in your organization, now you can imagine, just go back, think how many scenarios or how many situations you would face every day wherein these type of prompting or comparative prompting will really help you in your day-to-day work to expedite it, right? So that's about the demo of comparative prompting. Now, what you should not do when you are working with the comparative prompting, do not ask any of the vague questions. For example, which one is better? Make sure you provide, you follow this framework, you follow the criteria, you provide the criteria. Do not just say compare iPhone 16 and 17 and you won't get the relevant answer. Make sure you have the clear picture in your mind, what exactly, why you are comparing, what is the intent behind, so that you can request a summary and recommendation accordingly. Okay, so make sure you ask the recommendation, you ask for the similarities and the comparison based on the aspects and criteria, so you will get better results. So you can simply say compare X and Y based on A, B, C, which is the criteria, then tell which one suits this role or this goal. Okay, so that's basically how not to get into bad prompting when you are doing the comparative prompting. So that's all for this video. Make sure to go ahead and practice this prompting technique with some of the real-time examples that you are doing day to day to get more hands-on on this comparative prompting. I'm pretty sure it will be really helpful for you. So go ahead, explore and improve your prompting skills with comparative prompting. So that's all. Thank you. See you in the next one.